David is back. Bev is back. And we have some juicy information on where one of the cast members is currently in life. So tune in right now for the episode 5 recap of the Roseanne After Show right here on AfterBuzz TV.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. Jen and I just like to stew in the theme song music. Can you just give us a moment?
Sexy theme song. Wait. We gotta live in it.
We just love this so much. Welcome, everyone, to the Roseanne After Show right here on AfterBuzz TV. We are covering episode 5 tonight, Darlene versus David. We got all kinds of information in tonight's episode, so Jen and I are very excited to cover it. I'm your host, Blake V. This is my beautiful host, Jen Leone.
Hello.
It is the two of us tonight. We're missing our lovely Michael Shirley. He couldn't be with us tonight, but he will be back next week. We have a lot. Tonight's episode, okay, these episodes are so fast. I feel like they fly by in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Maybe that's just the fan in me wanting so much more out of it.
Yeah.
They're so freaking fast.
They are very fast. And I feel that when we watch the old episodes, it's like we watch back to back, back to back. So for us, it's like never ending since there's years of content. But now that there's, you know, it's new. It's for me, it's new to have a new Roseanne, because when I have been watching the old Roseanne, it was just constant content. And
I mean, the binge is strong. Yeah,
Binge
like
is strong.
we've had 20 years of binging.
Yes,
So yes,
we have.
I mean, I could easily do with an hour of these episodes. I just feel like they fly by. So,
Yeah.
that being said, they pack a punch into their 22 minutes that they give us.
Yeah.
And we had a lot tonight. So, I think that the first thing that will kick off, which was the first that they decided to address in the episode, was Bev's return.
Okay, can we address how great Bev looks?
Estelle Parsons is like blowing my mind. She's 91 years old.
She looks unreal. She looks like she's been
the
drinking
same.
baby's blood. Like, she has found the fountain of youth.
Vampire facials.
100% she's a vampire. I'm convinced.
Yeah.
She looks, it felt like I was watching like the early 90s Roseanne. I just don't understand how she still looks the same.
She is so well preserved.
She looks
It's shocking.
great.
Yeah.
She looks great.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
It is.
And she comes in and just like packing a punch like the old days, right?
Yeah.
Like nothing has skipped a beat. She comes in from the,
Old person's
the
home.
old folks' home. She's like, so they kicked me out for having too exciting of a sex life.
Which brings us to, is she a lesbian or is she not?
Right. Okay, so Jen and I were a little confused. Join us in the chat. Let us know what you think. So we know that, like, the way that original Roseanne ended was the fact that her whole written ending was not true. We went back to the kind of original timeline of things. But
She was a lesbian, though, in the show.
she was.
At the very end, she came out in the Thanksgiving Day episode because, as we know, the Thanksgiving episodes were very
Yes.
iconic and
prior
very...
to our finale episode.
Yeah, before
Yeah.
all that, she came out as a lesbian. So, is she not anymore? I mean, is she having
Right.
lesbian sex? Like, I'm wondering what... They never addressed what she was doing.
Correct. And I very specifically remember her having a romantic relationship with Joyce the Voice, the singer from the rotating lounge atop the Holiday Inn.
Yeah.
And this was like a lovely like lesbian memory of Beb's.
Right.
So arguably she could be very much like equal opportunity right now.
Yeah.
We're not sure.
Whatever
We're not sure.
comes her way. Doesn't matter.
No.
Just free
Equal
for all.
opportunity Bev.
I
So
mean,
let us know.
I think she was free in the 70s. I think that's what they tried to allude to. So,
Right.
I mean, go
Well,
for it, girl.
It's so funny because okay, so like historically in the old series, Nana Mary, her mother was like this bohemian gypsy of a woman who slept with Picasso and Louis Armstrong and just was like this artist woman who bounced around, traveled, everything.
I love that you remember her name, Nana Mary.
Oh, I remember everything.
Yeah,
Girl,
yeah. I'm glad that you remember. Like, it's good. It brings it back home.
I got it all right here. You just asked me what you need to know. I got it all right here. So she was like this bohemian lady, and in specific episodes, they had conversations between Nana Mary and Bev, where Nana Mary was specifically saying, like, Bev, okay, you were kind of like this straight-laced 50s wife who got married and, you know, had 2 kids and, you know, had the house and the life and everything. You were kind of rebelling against my rebel lifestyle of like living this kind of artistic way. So it's funny because, assuming that this is true, she lived out this life, but then now later in life, it's like she's letting out her inhibitions. She's like free sexually. She's all of these new ways. And I love it. I'm like living for it.
Finally at 91. She's doing it.
Okay, moral of the story, it is never too late.
Nah, that's a
Right?
great moral of the story.
My
Live it
God.
up. Live it up.
91 and get kicked out of some place for having too much sex.
I love it.
Hey,
I support it.
hey. It's a room full of support.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love it. So, another consistent theme of Bev's return was the fact that Jackie is like so displeased with her.
As usual, because we love that Jackie and Bev relationship. It's always been like, mother, I blame you for everything. And then Bev's like, la-di-da.
100%.
And has the greatest comebacks for Jackie.
Yeah.
Just, I love it. She always knows how to school Jackie.
And poor Jackie is just like so disgruntled all the time. she can like never get ahead or rise above. It's terrible.
Never. And she's like, my therapist says, you know, she holds so much against Bev, and Bev's just like in la la land.
For sure. She's
Love
like,
it.
whatever, Jackie. It
Yeah.
is what it is. But yeah, I mean, okay. So in this episode as well, I have become so accustomed to the Jackie one-liners. Like, we've received a lot of them in the previous episodes, and I did not get enough of Jackie this episode.
We needed more of Jackie, and I feel, and not to get into predictions, but I hope she's in the next episode, that you see that dynamic and that butting heads, because that's what we live for. I love when Jackie and Bev go at it.
Oh my God, I love it so much. And just Jackie in general, like she wins on so many levels for me. She just kills it with the one-liners, and she's great. So it's
She
like,
does.
I just want to see so much more of Laurie Metcalf.
Yeah. And you know what? And Roseanne as a whole, just the show, it's just the queen show of one-liners.
Yeah.
Because you just get someone right where they need it, just with one line. And it's
Quick,
like,
concise.
I love it. Whether it's a
Just what you
90-year-old
need.
woman or your 10-year-old child, it doesn't matter.
Right.
You will get that one-liner that will cut your throat. And I love it.
Yes. They do it the best. The Roseanne
really do.
writers, they do
really
it the best. So another very pivotal moment of tonight's episode, which we have been waiting for all week, I mean, I think they've been teasing it all week, is the fact that David was returning.
David!
He returned. So, like, very notably, the actor Johnny Galecki, he basically was in conflict with his Big Bang Theory contract. I mean, we know that he's a big actor.
He's a big star. Big star.
Big star. So he was really locked in with his Big Bang Theory contract. So they kind of had to work around it and bring him in for one episode this season. That's all we're going to see him is for one episode.
Sucks. I want him in more because you know what? Seeing his face as an older man and seeing Darlene, it just really, really, really made me feel at home. Like, this really is them. Like, this is the future.
Okay. I had like a really existential moment. Please tell me if I'm alone in this.
Okay.
Basically, I was having flashbacks of like Darlene and David as kids, as
110%.
teenagers. Okay.
110%.
Yeah.
That's exactly how I felt.
Yes. And as I was watching both of their grown adult faces, I was like,
I know, girl. We're here.
we're here. We're old. It's been many years.
We're in the future. This is
We
the
are
future.
in the future. And it was like, it was good and bad. It was good and bad. It was good because it was like, they've come together.
Yeah.
This is like nostalgia. This is like so important for my heart. And then I was like, we've all reached a point, everyone.
Yeah.
We've reached a point because not only visually, like, did they look older, but they're at this weird place where they're disconnected.
Yeah.
Okay, so Jen, tell me this, because I know that for me, I find it really hard to believe that David's character kind of took this turn and decided to be an absentee father and had to go and save the poor people of the world and take this whole turn. I just feel like that's so outside of his character from what we were used to in the original series. So what do you think of this kind of like way that they've had to write him back in?
To me, it seems like, okay, I would see him being more checked out, but still stay in the moment with Darlene, like Darlene's in control. So if they want to go down the storyline, I feel that they would really have to have something traumatic happen to David, which would be Mark's death. And I think that they touched on that in this episode. I think that they're trying to make it as Mark's death being his breaking point of needing to do more in the world and be a good person and blah, 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 blah. I would expect more, and let's say he wasn't on the Big Bang Theory, and let's say he was free to do as many episodes as he needed to, that he would have been a very
different storyline, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He would have been a creative person. Maybe they would have a successful cartoon, something.
Right.
You know, he would be in cartoon in some way because that was his artistic motive. They were very artsy together.
Yeah.
And I think that he would be a very hands-on dad, even if he was disconnected. And let's say he really didn't care about the family. Let's say he really didn't want to be a dad. He would still be there. He would stay. He really would have, just knowing him as a character for so many years. But I understand how they would have to write him off, and I understand how they would have to make it. And it's a cute little spin that they did, like to still make him seem like a good person. But they did touch in the past on his drug abuse, which is kind of shocking to me because I wouldn't see him as a drug addict.
Never.
No.
Never. I'm having a hard time with that, for sure.
Yeah. So something very traumatic would have had to happen.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but I get it.
Yeah, and maybe I'll save like my full thought for predictions, but like I wish that they could have written him a little differently. Like, okay, so Big Bang Theory has obviously been in the way for this season, but it seems as though they're planning to bring him back for season 2. They've been signed for an additional episode.
Oh, thank God.
So it seems as though they're going to bring him back in some capacity for season 2. I wish there was a way to have written him in a more positive light, because I feel like, you know, because of his absence, they wrote him in a negative light in terms of like, he chose to leave, he chose to help the world, or, you know, whatever.
Yeah, I don't believe it.
I don't believe it either.
Yeah.
It's not believable for me. So it's like, I wish they could have at least, you know, maybe he did go on this mission to save the world or whatever, but he and Darlene were together and they talked about it and they agreed upon it, and it was something that he wanted to do, but it was positive and he was coming back, or, you know, just something a little more positive.
I want to know more about Mark's death because I think that'll connect a little bit more dots for us.
Yeah.
I understand the order that they're working with last week Mark died and they talked a lot about that. Not that he died last week, but just that they talked about it. They touched on it.
Yeah.
And then now David comes in the picture. I like that they're making things a little more clear for us, but at the same time, it's like we need a little more.
Yeah.
We've been very invested in these characters. So don't give us BS on what happened with David. I feel that there's a lot more there.
Okay, I'm going deep right now.
Ooh.
And this is just me. So I realize judgment may come my way, but I'm going there.
I will back you up, girl.
Thank you, girl. Thank you.
No worries. You come at Blake, you come at me.
Okay, we're a united front here. Here I go.
We really are.
Here I go.
Yeah.
So Big Bang Theory. Lots of people love Big Bang Theory. I'm not a huge fan of Big Bang Theory. I'm sorry.
Same.
Not a huge fan.
Same.
Like,
Yeah.
it's fine, but I'm not a huge fan.
Most people really aren't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's huge and they get paid so much and
get
it's a whole thing.
Because
But
it's
like,
a smart writing.
yeah.
And-
And it's like, you know, eh. So for me, though, I live for Roseanne.
Of course.
I live. So for this reboot, this is like life for me. So for David's fate to be toyed with on behalf of Big Bang Theory is a little offensive to me.
Yeah, I get that. No, I get it. I
Like,
do.
I literally want ABC or any other challenging network to be like, Roseanne takes the cake. So whatever your contract over here is for Big Bang Theory, forget about it. Because
I mean,
take a trip or something on Big Bang Theory. You got to be over here at Roseanne. That's all I'm trying to say.
I'm guessing money's trumping all, and probably Big Bang
Probably.
Theory pays a little too much.
I'm sure.
And there's, Emmys
so.
involved, and
Probably so.
awards and all that jazz.
He's got a lot at stake. It's
He
true.
does. He does. And you don't, once you're on television that is very successful, you can't leave.
Right.
You can't.
You can't.
Because you might not find it again. It's very hard to get on a show like that.
It is. It really is.
He got very lucky. He's one of the most successful out of that.
Isn't that so funny too? Because it's like
it's very funny.
You don't really when you think back on the series, you don't really think of him as like the most successful or the most standout. But he really has.
Well,
But he is.
Clooney won an Oscar.
Clooney.
But yeah, I'll bring back Clooney every chance I get.
Girl, you know we both will. We're looking for him every episode. Just saying. So
Silver Fox needs to get on the show.
we may have to
Season
wait.
2.
We may have to wait for season 2.
I will
but
find his publicist and I will yell and say, "Listen, we need this.
Jen and I both.
We will. We're
on a mission.
We'll be in charge.
Bring Clooney back.
Bring Clooney back."
That is us. Really quick, just a quick mention for some fabulous content here at AfterBuzz TV. If you want to have some fun, if you want to learn and grow in all areas of your life, we have got the podcast for you. Conversations with Maria Menounos podcast edition is hosted by our very own AfterBuzz TV founder, and it drops every Friday on iTunes. Conversations with Maria Menounos features celebrity and influencer interviews, along with secrets and tips on how to be better in all aspects of life, from health and wellness to career, relationships, finances, and more. Let our Maria be the big sister you always wanted. Just go to iTunes and subscribe to Conversations with Maria Menounos for free, mind you. Nothing out of pocket here. It's all available for you. Be sure to rate and comment, and when you do, let Maria know that we sent you there. Conversations with Maria Menounos podcast edition. Check it out today. So, you're going to have to check that out after our show. Right? Yes.
Roseanne, Maria,
Right?
Roseanne.
It's all the content you could ever need, really.
Yeah. We got it all for you.
We've got it all. We absolutely have it all. So something that I think was kind of important too is like, not only did we see the fact that David and Darlene connected again, but it was like they had this whole, they spent the night together. And, yes, we saw David's return and we all want David and Darlene to be together, but they had this like secretive conversation. We weren't privy to it. It happened during their overnight together. So the next morning, Darlene comes down and she's telling Becky, we are going to work things out, apparently, allegedly. So it makes me so curious to know what they talked about, because
Well, they had sex. So you don't need to really talk much.
okay, so do you think that it was just the sex that had Darlene thinking like, oh yeah, we're back in it. We're going to, we're going to work things out.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, because in my mind, I'm thinking it was like a whole thing, like a whole discussion, but you think it was just the sex.
I think it was just sex,
Fascinating.
Because they just have this, they're old love. They love each other from
really
day
are.
one. There is no one that can trump them. So it's just like, I think that they have this understanding and they have children together. And when they said, you look like my kids, and haha, you look like my kids. Like, I think that's cute. And that just showed like, no, they had this connection that night that just, who's Blue? Blue who? Tell her she has a stupid name. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. And puts into perspective too, like just, you really wonder how long it really has been since the last time they had contact.
Oh, good question.
Because it's like, okay, it could be 5 years, but it could have also been 6 months. Like, it kind of seemed a little...
And you know what? Even if it was 5 years, I feel like it wouldn't even matter, because they have been together for so long, they lost their V cards to each other. And once you lose your V card to someone, it's like, that's the person. That's it.
And they were everything
They
to each other.
were.
Everything.
And they were like peas in a pod. Like, she ran his life and he was cool with it and they had similar things in common. And that's why in the very end, when you're like, oh, wait, Darlene was with Mark? Like, no, that can't be right.
No.
You know, even though it technically makes sense, it really didn't, because you're attracted to the opposite of you. And, you know, she needs to be in control and he needs to be dominated, and I liked it. Yeah,
well,
it's cute.
He took it in such an accepting way that it like worked so well for them both that it just this whole writing that of everything in this reboot, like I'm cool with everything in this reboot except this David story.
They need to be together. And you know what?
do.
They probably will end up. But we'll talk about that in predictions. I don't want to jump ahead.
Yeah. So maybe really quickly, I thought it was really funny, like Dan's reaction and the whole fact that David was all like, does your dad still live here? Oh, your dad, like scared of Dan. So it made me kind of just think like, when did things take a turn in such a way? Because I mean, they were essentially friends by the end of things in the old episode, you know, the old series.
I mean, they trust they trust David more than they trusted Darlene.
Yeah.
But, you know, I wonder what changed.
Right, exactly,
Yeah,
exactly. And the fact that Dan came out of the kitchen and was like calling David out a little bit and was like, this is the way it's going to go. You're not going to see your kids for 2 more weeks. And he's like, okay, yes, sir. And Dan's like, yeah, I always knew you were a smart boy. Like that was a very interesting exchange for me.
Yeah, I bet you that they're going to touch on that later. They have to.
Yeah.
For them to just be so straightforward like that, I feel that they need to address it later.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that I really think that this episode was a lot of setup. I mean, we saw David and Darlene kind of come back together. We saw Bev come back in the picture. We saw Harris kind of reunite with her dad, with David. I mean, everything was a bunch of like new beginnings.
You want to buy me pot? That was funny.
Right, like, ooh, Harris, okay.
She's a little more ballsy than Darlene was.
She is sassy.
Yeah.
She wins.
Yeah, she does.
wins.
And back in the day, you didn't think that Darlene would be trumped. Well, her daughter does. Harris takes over.
Giving Mama Darlene a run for her money. I like it.
Yes. It's always like, you know, the apple doesn't fall far. Well, this apple is on the branch.
Well, and Darlene had her dad present the whole time.
Yeah.
So imagine if Darlene was dealing with an absentee father. She would have just like zinged the hell out of him all the time.
Always. Yeah, I could tell.
The apple doesn't fall far. So true. So true. So yeah, so we have a lot of beginnings here, and I think that like for sure we're gonna have to be revisiting these in the rest of the season and then also season 2. So we have a lot to cover. So stay tuned because we're gonna be following just along with you. Let's jump into a tiny bit of news and gossip. Just a small bit. We found out about this information actually right after our show last week, so probably a lot of people know, but I think it's just kind of worth covering. Harris's character, played by the actress Emma Kenny, who we know from Shameless, and she's a lovely, beautiful young actress. She announced that she is going to rehab, essentially. For an indefinite period of time. She announced on her social media, most notably her Instagram. She mentioned that she has been battling some demons, living in the Hollywood world, running with a fast crowd. She's young. She is a Hollywood baby for all intents and purposes. And so she is taking some time out to find herself, find her peace, find her happiness. Sara Gilbert kind of very publicly came forward with her support in Emma Kenny's decision to do this and kind of take this hiatus period between the season 1 and season 2 of Roseanne to address this. And hopefully she'll be back on track and ready to go for season 2 and have her ish all sorted out.
You know, I could see something with her because I've been watching Shameless since season 1. I come from the south side of Chicago. I'm very, very about Shameless, about Roseanne. I love my area. I love the content that comes from it, the shows that come from it, the stars that come from it. So I'm all about it. And when I saw everything with Emma, I mean, it makes a lot of sense because, one, you're hanging out with the LA people, and LA is just
very different.
It's so different.
Yeah.
It's so different. And, you know, being in Chicago, which they don't actually film too much in Chicago. They film mostly here at Warner Brothers, which is just in Burbank, which is down the street from us.
Yeah.
And it's so, it's a very different world here. And you know, she comes from such a young age that she started, that she's growing
Her
into
whole
this.
life.
Right.
Her whole life, basically.
Now, Ethan, who is her brother on the show, he was just given a DUI. And he is her younger brother on the show. He's younger than she is. He comes from Chicago. And it's almost like this is a pattern. This is something like, what's happening? I'm in this fast lane. Well, I'm going to just do what people tell me because I take direction anyway. And they just go with it. And I think that it's very responsible of her to stop now and say, hey, I need to really bring this all together. And she has a bright career if she chooses it. You know, everything can be taken from you in a moment.
Yeah.
And it depends on your behavior too.
Yeah.
You know, so she has to get it together so that she can continue her success. You know, she's not going to move forward when she's in her 30s if she does this in her teens. So
For sure.
I'm so proud of her. I love that she's going to rehab. I think that she should never be shamed and just go for it.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. I mean, I think it's always a great move. Anytime you're trying to better yourself and help yourself is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she's very lucky to have the career that she has and to even have this time right now to devote to something like that. So time well spent.
Yeah.
Good decision. What do we have to lose from it other than her, you know, gaining a better perspective of life and being in a better place coming forward? That's fantastic for everybody.
Right. And you know what? I was thinking about this when Roseanne was coming out and I was looking at the cast and I saw her name and I'm like, wow, to be a part of this project that's, I mean, so iconic. Roseanne is a show that will forever be iconic. It's just... There's so many moments in it that is so monumental to what's going on in society and every point of the 90s and even now, you know, it's coming out again.
Yeah.
And for her to be a part of it, it's such a big deal. And I love that she's just taking control because she is lucky to be a part of it. There's
She really
not
is.
too many people who are new
No.
in Roseanne. And she's the very few. So I
sure.
love that she's taking control.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I agree. I love it. I love it. Because Jen and I would love to be a part of it too.
Oh,
Just saying.
in a minute. Are
Should you ever need to
kidding?
cast anyone, Roseanne series? Got your extras right here.
I mean, if you need a Latina who's magically dating Clooney, I'm here.
and if you need a blonde to do whatever else you need, got her right here too. So,
Be Bev's younger lover.
I'll take it. Take it.
Let's take anything. We're here for you. Producers, you watching? We're here.
I would literally do whatever you wrote for me.
Whatever.
Like whatever
Whatever.
you wrote for me. I would be there. I would be there.
I'll be DJ's homeless girlfriend,
all of
whatever
it.
you need.
All of it. David's homeless girlfriend. Whoever.
We'll be blue. Either you or I will be blue.
Oh my God, would so be blue.
I could be blue. We could be two people.
Blue. Yes, we can. Absolutely. So we have what predictions maybe? Let's pop into some predictions
these
really
live.
quick. Yeah.
AfterBuzz TV.
Okay, so predictions. So I think that like for me, for David, I mean, I really just see David and Darlene together. I know that there's
I
this
would love that.
You know, I know that there's this blue character, but it's like this whole writing has been strange for me, and I really do see David and Darlene coming back together. What do you think?
You know what? Really quick, you mentioned the writing. You know, Whitney Cummings is really, really big on this project. Which, you know what? I've been watching Whitney Cummings for years because I'm a huge Chelsea Handler fan.
Yeah.
She comes from Chelsea Handler Roundtable. Very good friends with her. Writes Two Broke Girls. I personally am not a. I mean, I do like Whitney, but I don't feel that she's that like Roseanne level. And it might be holding the show back. I know I could be, you know, don't sue me, but I think that there needs to be a little more with this. Okay, so with David, let's say they end up together. I would need to see more of him, and I think that everyone would agree we'd need to see him. And since we know that we're not going to get that, now what's going to happen? Is he going to be a distance lover? Is he going to be something in the future of season 2? Is he going to get more episodes? You know, it just kind of concerns me because honestly, I would love to have him in all the episodes. I think that he's a huge character because he's been in all of the episodes. So why is he only going to be
pivotal.
in one?
Yeah.
You know, so then they're going to make him be this absentee dad, and then these kids are running crazy and wild, and it's like, let's just get real. Like Roseanne has always been so real, but they have to deal with what they have to deal with the writing. So I don't know. I don't know how things are going to go. I love that Bev is back, and I really, really, really want her in all the episodes.
I do too.
If Bev is back. And then we saw DJ's daughter.
Yeah.
Finally. So probably next week, I'm going to predict that we touch on that a little more. See maybe the girl that he kissed back in the day, and now they have a baby. I hope that she comes in, and I hope that we learn more about his daughter, and we see more of that dynamic that was cute that we saw in the beginning of the episode where she held Roseanne held a Sports Illustrated magazine and said, "Here, learn how to get a stubborn body." You know, it's just very, it's very Roseanne.
Yeah.
Hit the beep, beep. Okay,
Right.
I'm being paid right now. I love that.
Yeah.
I want more of that. I want more of the family, more new characters. And I hope that we see more of Jackie and Bev dynamic, because truly, that to me is one of the best dynamics in television history, is seeing how Jackie just blames everything on her mother, and her mother's just like, la, 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 la.
Yeah.
And just such a space cadet. It's hilarious to me.
Such a space cadet.
No, seriously, that's what I
true.
think of Bev.
Yeah, no, I mean, she is, but she's kind of bringing this like little bit of like sassy realness now, where
Always.
she's just like, don't give a F. She's like old. She's like sexually free. It's
Which she
like,
would be.
you know, and I love it. I love it. So yes, I really hope to see more of Bev too. I mean, Aunt Jackie still has my heart. I want so much more of her.
Yes.
And I really have high hopes for season 2 as well, just in terms of writing David more into this. In a more consistent way with Darlene, which I feel strongly about. I feel like that's kind of the direction we're going in. So
did you notice though, they don't really have a balance of characters yet?
Yeah.
They just don't put everyone together like they did.
no, they're kind of tossing everyone in right now, which I mean, I kind of get, because really they're kind of reintroducing everybody and giving them like a moment to be reintroduced.
Sure.
So because it's so new, like I do kind of get that.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping exactly what you're saying. I'm really hoping for a more like leveling out and having more consistent interplay between all the characters. I'm dying for DJ, because it's like we haven't seen anything of him yet. You know, and
Such a tease.
Yeah, and I really want. He's really the only one that we haven't gotten deep with.
I just think it's funny how he thought he was allergic to dogs for so long in the last episode.
Right.
And, you know, just things like that. Like, they're not picking on DJ anymore. Like, they need to pick on DJ. And we need to see DJ. But honestly, to be honest with you, I feel that he's going to have a big role in the second half of this series. Or in this, this... season. Thank you for that. So this second half of the season, I think that he's going to be a bigger character, a lot heavy storylines coming his way, which is the only reason how I could justify him being so scarce in the beginning.
Yeah,
you know,
I certainly hope so, because it's time. It's like we've reintroduced everybody, and so let's have some more DJ.
I love it. I need it. I want them to pick on him. I want Becky. I want old Becky
the
and
old
new Becky.
interactions.
I want all of them. I want them to all sit at the end. I want them to all be sitting at the table. Old Becky, new Becky.
Yeah.
Jackie and her mom sitting next to each other. Bev. I want everyone. And by the way, John Goodman looks great.
He looks fabulous.
He looks really great. He lost a lot of weight.
He does.
And
He did. And he looks great, and it's fantastic.
I have high hopes. I haven't been really let down, so I'm excited to see what's to come.
Yes. Absolutely. Okay, so I mean, that was a thorough episode 5. Jen and I love it. Let us know what you think. Right after you get done watching this episode, please head over to iTunes and give us all the love.
5 stars. Thumbs up.
Give us all the likes. We need the 5 stars. The 4 stars don't work. We've done some diagnostics, and the 4 stars don't work. We need all the 5 stars. So give us 5 stars. Give us all the love on iTunes.
And come on, we're 5 stars.
I mean, this is a 5-star operation over here. So let's have the 5 stars.
Yeah.
Also, if you give us a review on iTunes, we'll be sure to shout it out on the next time. So definitely share with us some love. We'll give it right back. We love you guys so much, and we love your interactions and just letting us know what you think about the episode, what you think about our after show, what you think about Roseanne. We're big fans. You're big fans. It's a big love fest here.
Yeah.
So hit us up on iTunes. Hit us up on our social media. I have been your host, Blake V. You can find me across all social media at Blake V Media, my lovely host. Tell them where they can find you.
Hey guys, I'm Jennifer Leone. You can follow me on Twitter at Jennifer Leone TV and on Instagram at J.Leon TV. And yeah, give us a 5-star rating any way you can, whether you're watching us on SoundCloud, iTunes, YouTube. And on YouTube, please give us little comments. Tell us what you think. And if you want us to pull up the live chat and you're into that, then we'll be happy to do it.
We will do it.
Just let us know and tell us what you think. And if you know anyone on the show or know anyone, a little producer or something, hit us up, because we'd love to have guests. We'd love to have someone sit right here and chat with us. We need all of the members of the Roseanne family with us.
That's right.
So
Fans unite.
come with us.
Yes, thank you so much for tuning in. We love you all. Be right here next week, Tuesday at 10 p.m. for episode 6 recap of the Roseanne After Show right here on AfterBuzz TV. Bye.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Keven Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.